We're live, y'all.
All right. We are live. All right. Thank you, Jesus. I'm gonna have to fix this out though.
Ready?
Stay ready.
All right, let's go. Amen. That was Richard Smallwood with Calvary on this great Resurrection Sunday. So we're going to go ahead and go into our interviews with Miss Jennifer Miller Gonzales.
So extra. I need like 3 names.
Oh yeah, you got to. You got to be legit.
Right.
So we have Miss Jennifer. She's actually from. I'm gonna let her tell you where she's from.
Yeah.
So go ahead this morning. Welcome everybody, Miss Jennifer.
Oh, yay. I was born in Hawaii, and then I moved to Texas when I was a small little baby, and that's where I grew up. So I'm actually more Texan than Hawaiian.
Okay. So what's your organization? So if I was trying to learn about your organizations, what are your organizations? How did they start? And what got your passion about your organizations?
So I've been playing basketball since I can even remember. I don't remember when that started, but my dad was actually an official. He was a referee. So I remember he would pick us up from school, and then we would go straight to the gym. And so he was an aircraft mechanic, and he just loved basketball. So he just did it because he loved to. He wasn't any good. So his way to be a part of basketball was to officiate. And so he did that, and just for extra money. And so I grew up in the gym, and then like around when I was 8 or 9, he was like, "Oh, you can actually play," because I had been watching, and I kind of just learned and picked it up. So I grew up in Texas playing basketball. I played a little junior college stuff, and then I moved out here to UNLV, finished school. And when I moved out here, I went to every recreation center and every gym looking for a women's basketball league to play in, and everyone laughed in my face.
Wow.
Saying that women's leagues don't work. So initially I was like, okay, so I played in men's leagues. And then after a while, after about like 6 months, I was like, okay, this is ridiculous. I'm going to start my own league.
Amen.
So I started the Las Vegas Women's Basketball League. That was in 2009. And so I just do that each season, spring, winter, fall, and summer. And I do it year round, having women play basketball.
So when you first started the league, how many women did you get, and then how many do you have now?
So there were 3 teams when I first started, and we basically just played kind of pickup.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, okay, if you guys can get some more girls here, I'll get some officials here, and I'll start scheduling games, getting the court time and things like that. And this past season, I ended with 15 teams.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Who won the championship?
Dime piece.
Okay. Timepiece. I like that.
Yeah.
And then you have a youth girl basketball team as well, right?
Yes. So one of my best friends that actually plays in the league, she approached me in 2016 and said, "Jen, we've been doing this for the women. There's no exclusive girls basketball league in Las Vegas." And I had never really thought about it. I have 2 boys, and they play in their club teams. But then she was like, "I'm gonna do this." And so I supported her through my contacts in the community and resourced just people that we knew. And she started Girls Youth Basketball. So that one's a 501c3 nonprofit that she is the director of operations and founder for that.
Okay.
It's a beautiful thing, because I didn't realize that either, the lack of support for girls youth basketball.
Wow.
There are a bunch of club teams, but I don't want to talk negatively about it, but the club teams, they take these elite girls and then let them travel, and those programs are great. But for a girl that might not be as good, might not be as skilled,
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have that opportunity to be a part of the traveling team or be a part of that competitive team. And so what we saw is they would come in and eventually be weeded out.
Wow.
So we wanted to create a program that any girl that had a passion or interest for basketball would have that opportunity to come and learn and play and just be around other girls and females.
And where do the youth basketball meet? Or if a parent was listening right now here in Las Vegas, how would they get their child enrolled, and where can they find the information? Where is where is the club or Boys and Girls Club or the place that they meet? What is that information?
So the official home gym for girls youth basketball is the Donald W. Reynolds Clubhouse. So Boys and Girls on Robindale and Eastern.
Okay.
And that's where they hold all of their practices and all of their games. And so that was a good partnership for us as far as like giving them exclusivity to, priority for gym time and things like that. Because gym
Correct.
time in the city is a struggle.
Yeah.
And then especially that's an obstacle that I've had to deal with as far as getting moved, because they're like, oh, it's just the girls, or it's just the women, and so we get moved around a lot. So right now the women are playing out of Hoop City, and we have a good relationship with them.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And then another thing with your with the nonprofit for the girls basketball,
Mhm.
are you guys looking for anything? Is there donations that you're looking for, equipment, any of those things that you guys are seeking for, or just even more parent participation?
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. We would love more community and parent involvement. We already have relationships with Wilson, Body Armor. Skylar Diggins came out to one of our camps as a representative for Body Armor. So definitely anyone that is looking to partner with an amazing girls youth basketball program, we'd definitely be open to.
Dope.
Yes, with the Las Vegas Ace coming here, are you planning on trying to do any joint ventures, maybe running camps or anything like that for the ladies?
Absolutely. The last camp we did hold, Mariah Jefferson came out, and she did an appearance. She was able to speak to the girls. There's also a game, I believe it's May 6th, where they're going to do a GYB. They're going to honor GYB. So giving tickets to some of the girls. They're going to do a shout out during the game. We've been in talks with them, and we're definitely starting with the youth and hopefully filter some of that relationship into the women's league.
Dope.
Have you ever thought about venturing to bigger, to another sport?
Absolutely. I love that you asked that. Because my whole vision I love basketball and that's my passion. But as, I'm getting older and I'm not even playing as much, my dream and my vision's gotten a lot bigger. As far as I've seen what the Women's League has been able to do within the camaraderie and the women empowerment that it's formed during those Sundays.
Dope.
Everyone is excited. There's just a friendship that's formed. We had a meeting last night, and I asked all the girls what their favorite thing about the league was, and they said that I've been able to create lifelong friendships here. My friends here in the league are my best friends, and they just met through the league, and that meant a lot to me.
Wow.
Knowing that, we're still forming these amazing lifelong relationships later on in life, which I think is something that women really need in support. Once you graduate high school or, your friends kind of go away, we start having babies and, interest starts to change. But for the women in the league, they have that common denominator, which is that passion for basketball.
That's dope.
Yeah, so they just get along. We already know going into it, we all have something in common.
Yes, can you tell me about what are your short-term goals and long-term goals for the program?
Yeah, so for the women's league, I definitely want to get a little bit bigger. So I started out with one division, and it was highly competitive because those were the real ballers, right? They all came out. They're like, oh, cool, there's a league. But then I started to find women come in that were just like, oh, I used to play 15 years ago. I want to get back in shape. And so I had to have this one division, and some of the teams are getting blown out really badly. So once it grew, I was able to create 3 divisions. So a highly competitive one and then a recreation one, where girls could come in and just run around if they wanted to. So definitely expanding that, and then also, expanding to other cities and states.
That's dope.
How is the structure of the team put together? Do y'all just, okay, this is who I play with, or do y'all do a draft, a situation, or anything?
I would love to do a draft eventually, but as of right now, the great thing and why I love this league is I communicate through captains. So within the 15 teams, each team has a team captain, not really a coach, but just a player coach that I communicate everything through. And these girls have been with me almost since I started, for 6, 7, 8, 9 years.
Wow.
So
That's
they,
good.
yeah, that
That's dope.
yeah, that they love what the league provides, and then I'm able to connect with them as far as like, okay, this needs to be done, what do we need to implement? And so I was telling them last night, I don't consider it my league. I'm just a mediator and facilitate things. I said it's like a democracy where we get to vote on things, and I just make sure things are followed through with. So yeah, within the operations, what happens if a woman, and this is like 99% of the time, comes and says, hey, I want to play, I don't have a team, I'll communicate with the captains and say, hey, I have a 5'8" guard that has so many years of experience, who wants her? And then I'll kind of put it out to there. If nobody wants her, then I'll place her.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. And then as an overall, are you trying to get, I guess you could say, trying to get to a point where you get like more of the high school, like where you guys could start venturing to the high schools and talking to, because a lot of girls, I know a lot of girls after high school, that was it. I was like, they had nothing else. They couldn't get to the WNBA. They didn't want to go overseas.
Right.
So, but they still love basketball,
Yeah.
you know. Or is there going to be a time where, like, you know, it's close to graduation,
Yes.
and you guys do kind of like a tour to the high schools,
Yeah.
go to Rancho, Desert Oasis, Valley, and say, hey, girls, guess what? We have the women's league.
Yeah.
If you're going to stay in town, we'll love to have you. If you're just back from vacation from college,
Yeah.
we'll love to have you. Are you guys planning anything like that?
I would love that. And I love that you brought it up, because that is more than 50 to 75% of the girls that don't move on. And I know, and actually that was me, where I grew up playing basketball. Basketball was my life. I would have the basketball t-shirts, the basketball necklaces, and then it transitioned into, okay, now I'm just a college student. And there was a big disconnect for me, where I was like, almost like an identity crisis. It was like, oh, I was a basketball player, but now that I'm in college, who am I?
Yeah.
And I was like, am I the party girl? Am I gonna be a book nerd? And yeah, it really was where I didn't know who I was for a good year. And I don't think we ever really know who we are, but definitely if I was able to help bridge that gap for a lot of other girls that have that same, those same emotions or kind of get lost, that to have a home within in the league, to make
Right.
sure that, you know, hey, there's other women, there's other girls that are going through what you're going through. And I know it sounds kind of cheesy, but it was like a real thing, you know, where I was in the gym every single day, you know, shooting around, lifting weights, playing basketball, and then working towards something. And then, well, now that I'm not doing that, what am I going to do?
Right.
And then even too, I ended up going to college for like 7 years, and I'm not a doctor. Just trying to figure out what I wanted to do, because it wasn't the WNBA.
Correct.
So yeah, helping girls that, you know, have dedicated their life to basketball up until graduation, giving them a better path and a better light to follow.
Yeah, because I know in California there's a lot of mentorships that comes in around the high school time, especially when it's career day or things like that, just to kind of help transition. You know, we see the military do that like seamlessly. Like
Yep.
they come in, they're like, you don't know what to do? You sitting on the couch? What you doing?
Right.
You know, but
Right.
I really would love to see, you know, organizations, especially here in Las Vegas, because education is not number one.
Right.
I'm gonna say it again, education is not number one here or furthering anything.
Right.
And I'm telling you, if you give these kids encouragement to say you could be something and you still could have your outlet, you
Right.
know, because a lot of people lose hope. You know, I lost my scholarship to Sac State, being young. You know, that's all I could
Yeah.
almost toss it up to, being young. And I was lost.
Yeah.
You know, after a few years, I didn't play football, and
Right.
I'm like, all right, I'm not playing football. And then the older I kept getting, but when I got into the military, I started playing league and into the little leagues that were on base, and we were doing good. You got that spirit back up, and it's a great thing to kind of have your outlet. You know, that thing that you have so much passion that, you know, most kids that if they really took sports serious took 4 years of sacrifice, you know, injuries,
Yeah.
time, and you got to think about it. For your whole season, you go to practice every day. So that's a lot of time of your high school career that you used in sports.
Yeah.
And it, like you said, it is an identity crisis. And I really think that with organization like you, and I know there's a lot of other organizations for different sports. If everybody just came together and start getting to these schools to, even if it's a mentorship, because there might be somebody in your league that encourages a girl to be like, you know what, that the women's Las Vegas Women's League, there was a lady there that helped me, and now I'm in the WNBA,
Yep.
And that's my next question. Have anybody from your league transpired to go as either as a walk-on or anything as in the WNBA or doing international pro?
So not from my league, but there are women that played in the WNBA that are in the league, and there
Oh, y'all tough. I gotta come watch y'all. I'll be intimidated. You play with who? Oh, Lisa. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, stretch.
It's really neat to, and that's another part of that bridge where we have women within the league that have walked the path.
Yeah.
So if there are girls, and what I love about GYB is we're able to provide that bridge. Say if you're really serious about wanting to be in the WNBA, you can talk to this woman that actually did it, and
Right.
that path that she took, so you don't have to guess. Do you have to get an agent? Should I be investing into this? How much
Right.
work did I have to do? How much time did you spend in the gym? Who did you talk to? And those types of things. I have girls that played overseas, played on, I have a girl that played on the Philippine national team, so really cool.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And then, what ages is the youth group?
The youth group is 3rd through 8th grade,
No high school?
no high school. So it's kind of an untapped thing where we're trying to figure it out. And the focus is on youth girls. So we
Okay.
really want to be able to dig into these youth girls and start them out young. And again, to just kind of mold them and guide them into the women's league and into, walking into that.
Well, the reason why I said it not high school because I know I have a friend of mine who does 7-on-7.
Okay.
And he does football. When football's not in,
Mhm.
he wants to always keep the players not just sitting on the couch,
Right.
getting out of shape. So they do 7-on-7 leagues, or they do kind of spring ball where they're going against other players.
Right.
And I know there's probably a lot of girls out there that after basketball
Off-season,
season
yeah.
and off season,
Yeah.
that they'll love, man, we're about to do the off season with,
Yeah. So I've actually had high school teams come in and play in the league, in my
Oh.
league.
Okay.
And I think that's a better experience for them, where they have that opportunity to play against women that had that experience,
Okay.
overseas or professional, and they get worked, and it's pretty funny. I honestly love it, because these little girls love them, come in, but, they have a certain, I don't want to say entitlement, but they feel like they're really good.
I know what they feel because my players they think that we're too old
Yeah.
and have no skills.
Absolutely.
And then they realize you don't
No,
understand.
you don't know. Yeah, experience definitely plays, and the woman that played in WNBA, she's in her mid-40s. So,
Ooh.
yeah, she's a little bit older, and so they kind of look at us.
I know she had an ice after.
She complains every single time about icy and icy hot, everything, but she's a baller, so, definitely, yeah, when these high school girls come in, it's a good teaching moment, to let them know, like, hey, you guys have a lot of work you need to do, and just because you think, you made the varsity team, or, whatever your parents are telling you that you're God's gift, that you need to work, and it's very classy, and that's what I love about the women too. I know whenever one of the last games, this woman, her name is Dana, she took one of the girls aside. You tell this girl, she was a junior or something, so talented, so athletic, horrible attitude, and she basically put her arm around her, and I watched this whole thing happen, put her arm around her, and I saw her talk to her, and I asked her what she told her. She's like, if you don't change your attitude, no one's gonna recruit you.
Yeah.
If you're not coachable, you don't have a future, pretty much. So because I'm sure, I don't know, the conversation that happened with her, but maybe I hope that actually gave her some perspective.
Well, one thing I've seen as being a coach is you just got to plant the seed.
Mhm.
They might not be, receptive of what you say then, but
Right.
they'll sit there and be like, man, do I really want to do this seriously? And if
Yeah.
I do, what coach said
Right,
is really going to be, or what this person that I looked up to said.
right.
And that's a deep thing,
Mhm.
because most players, and I hope if any players are listening right now, most players have to realize that it's about, I want to say 30% skill, 70% your attitude.
Yeah. Hard
Because
numbers.
I could make a person that's coachable that has no skill get skill, because that's the fundamentals. But a person that has skill and is not coachable,
Right.
that means you're not going to run the plays.
Right.
That means you're not going to be a team player. That means you're going to cost the game.
Yeah.
That you have to look at those things from a coach's perspective,
Yeah.
or a college perspective, because nowadays college isn't like when I wish when I was around my parents' age, because when my parents was a ball player, football player, basketball, they assign you and pass all your classes, and if you hardly could get in trouble.
Right.
Nowadays you gotta be smart, you gotta be a student first. I'm gonna say it again,
Yep.
student first. And you can't be with the fads or the trends, getting in trouble, because you'll lose your scholarship, you'll lose your whole chance, and you'll hear a lot of, just look up on Google how many people that said, man, if I just didn't go out and party all the time, man, if I just took it serious, man, if I did this, I was so talented, but my attitude, oh, I was so talented, but I couldn't get out of trouble.
Right.
We've heard these stories
Yeah.
for years.
Yeah.
And it's probably been more years than what we know right now.
Yeah.
So if anybody's listening, I want you to really take in consideration. If you really want to do your sport, despite of what your sport is, be serious, take it like a job. Whatever you do in sports, you transfer it into the real world. And it goes, I'm going to be the best person I am, and I'm not going to have anybody feel disrespected about me. And I'll be respectable to everybody. Because, and despite on the sport, everything is competition. We all going to get to talking smack and be on the field and like, man, you weak, oh, you can't see me.
Right.
But when you get off that court or that field, you got to be the most pleasant person to talk to.
Right.
Because you have to market your brand yourself.
Mhm.
One thing that I could admire about the baller brand is that they're respectable people, the kids. I'm gonna rephrase that. I'm gonna rephrase that. The kids are, they're respectable, they talk well-mannered.
Right.
The daddy is, but
Yeah.
the kids are. And that's one thing you have to look at. Just look at who you want to be and really market it. So, before we go into outros, if any last things where we can find you, anything coming up, is there going to be a charity ball? And if it is, we'll remote live on it. Just throw that out there. So if it's a charity ball, Anointed Radio will definitely offer up services to be there.
Yes, I would love to do more of like community events, but as of right now, season starts next Sunday, April 8th. The GYB starts April 7th on that Saturday, so they run Saturdays, we run Sundays. You can find us on all of social media, GYBLV, LVWB Ball, on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all of that good stuff. And yeah, the Aces game with GYB, that's gonna be huge. And we're actually in
Y'all
talks.
gonna be playing with the
I don't know if we're gonna be
Aces?
playing. And we're also talking to another women's league in California called the Basketball Beauties League. And we
Wow.
want to set up like a charity game type of like that.
An all-star type game?
Yes, an all-star type game. Because they have a lot of models, actresses, and like professional basketball players in California.
Yeah.
So I've been following them, and we've been talking about doing something like a West Coast battle, LA versus LV kind of thing. So
I
that's-
definitely will go,
that's-
even if you don't offer it. That is a dope thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's in the works. So something like that, and a little more community involvement. So
Okay.
I appreciate you having me.
Amen. I'm glad you were able to come. But guess what? It's that sad time again. And we're going to have to go. But I am so happy because it is Resurrection Sunday and he lives. And I want everybody to just stay encouraged. Great things are coming. The only way that you could fully be put to your potential is if you let God use you to your full capability. So that is it. Y'all, I'm really sad. I didn't really want to get off the show this early today. But it's Easter and I got a lot of stuff and I got to go to church right after this. So praise God. This is Pastor J. You can find me at Pastor_J90 or Facebook, Pastor Jalon Calhoun. Or if you're not done listening to my voice, you could see me at Judah Family Community Church today at 11:30, partnered with New Hope Greater Faith at 3739 Glen Ave, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89121. Another thing you can look out for, April 29th. April 29th, we are going to have Gospel Fest at the Rio. We're opening doors at 9, but guess who's in the building? Anointed Radio. We'll be streaming live from the Rio. Pictures, giveaways, gospel, singing. Did I say giveaways? All that stuff. Just want you guys to come out full force. People of God, let's come and show that we can represent well, especially here in Las Vegas, where we don't have many Christian events here. Amen?
Amen.
But that's me, and always remember, common sense is not common.
And this is Coach Hill. You can find me on Instagram at RudyTNC. And remember, patience is a talent that a lot of people don't have.
This is Miss Maya. You can find me on Instagram at Music by Maya Official. Maya spelled MYHIA. And excuse you.
Oh, excuse me.
Remember, happiness is a choice. Happy Easter.
And just want to do something for Lady AJ in her absence. She was sick this morning, but pray for Lady AJ
Amen.
so she could be healed, and she'll most likely be with us next Sunday. See you next week, y'all.
Good show, you guys.
We're still live on the phone.
No wasted time.
Hey, thank you guys.
No problem. I'm glad you came.
That's right.
Too. I used
know.
to be like all about basketball,
Really?
but then those stupid guys. It was always like I always wanted to join teams, but I never got physicals. That's simple.
All right, y'all. Bye.
Yeah, that's
Tune in next week.
I wanted to be in the WNBA.
Just know. All right.
I was like,
All right. I'm going to get it right. I'm going to get it right. Just let you guys know we got it syndicated in. We got syndicated in Los Angeles. So you'll be able to see us on the U Nation YouTube and on the Anointed Radio YouTube show. All right? Check us out. See you next week.